This is the Cooper's Gap wind farm. It was opened about 18 months ago. Apologies for the wind noise. Who would have thought there'd be lots of wind at a wind farm? Oh well.
First power at Cooper's Gap came on in June of 2019, and it was fully commissioned 2 years later, posting its fully rated output for the first time on the 19th of June 2021. It cost 850 million Australian dollars to build it, and it's situated roughly halfway between Dalby and Kingaroy, and about 200 k's inland from the coastline. After the initial planning stages in 2011, there was a little bit of pushback from the local farmers. At the time, 11 landowners took about $6,000 per turbine to host them on their land, plus a fee. Some of the landowners, though, that had refused, noted that the turbines were about 1,000 metres, 1 kilometre from their home, but with no regulations in Queensland for wind farms at that point, they legally could put them where they wanted. There were some problems, though, that they found during the commissioning period. In late 2020, General Electric found faults that would require 3 blades of one turbine to be completely replaced, and the generator unit in the nacelle of the turbine needed to be replaced in 40% of the turbines. Looking around out here, the only cars we see are construction traffic going between the turbines, so some of that rectification work is probably still going on right now.
Produces about 450 or so megawatts. There are 123 turbines, and it was the largest wind farm in Australia for about 7 or 8 months, and that was then eclipsed by Stockyard, I think, farm in Victoria. Standing next to these pylons, they go up 110 meters high, and the blades have got a span of 130 meters. It's the first I've been this close to an actual wind turbine. They make this whoop whoop kind of sound, but this is altogether different. I hope the microphone's picking that up in the background. It sounds a little bit like a jet engine that's being strangled. But it's kind of amazing, and it's breathtaking. Just the size of these. The last time I was out this way, out west, it's about 2.5 hours drive from my home, and there was none of this. That was 10 years ago. It's all very new. Anyway, it's kind of incredible to see.
Many of the turbines were stopped, and whilst I didn't stop and count them, I'd say about 1 in 10 wasn't operating, and the wind was blowing just fine, like you can hear from the audio. When it was running at full capacity, the farm had a calculated capacity factor of 38% based on the turbine's design and the wind measurements for that area. Capacity factor is the amount of power generated over a time period divided by the maximum capacity of the turbine itself. The current estimate for wind farm capacity by nameplate in Australia is about 8 gigawatts. However, with wind, between design trade-offs and wind droughts, the overall capacity factor is about 30% overall for all wind farms in Australia, which isn't that great. In the end though, it's awe-inspiring when you stand next to it for half an hour. The scale is breathtaking. Not sure I'd fancy living too close to one because that sound is very, very unnatural. Thanks again for listening. See you next time.